when you're just starting to play the song, you're kind of still in creation mode. You're still trying to figure out what part fits where, like the arrangement of the whole thing. You have the song written, but you know, like creating those moments and all that stuff. But as with live, you get to actually experience the moments with the crowd and create, and in that same way, you get to create new moments and all that stuff. And that's what it's all about, really, truly. So
it's a yin yang situation for me. I feel like I need both of them to really feel, for lack of better terms, fulfilled in what I'm doing. I crave the live element and being present with the people, screaming the songs, and you know, and just it's just a feeling you don't get when you're in the studio. But then when I'm on the road and it's the last week, all I want to do is stop playing drums and go home and just like record some music. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like I need,
they feed each other.
They feed each other. I need that. And I feel like y'all would agree. It's that yin yang, the push and pull. Like you got to have them both in order to get the best out of each thing, you know?
100%.
Yeah. Being on shows, they definitely feed each other in the way that, you know, when you're in the studio, you know, well, I guess when you're on stage and you're playing shows live, you are so in touch with your audience. And so you can take that back and like, you can think about the live show and think about the fans and think about how it all comes across in it. I think you can write in your lane more, and you can really think about the live show because you've been doing it. So it's like, you need both to the back and forth is essential. All right. Yeah. Well, we're the Band Camino. We're here in Nashville. I'm Jeffrey.
I'm Spencer.
I'm Garrison.
Maybe I should see somebody, 'cause I can't keep this up. Everything inside my body is telling me to stop. All my friends have left me for dead, and I don't have a clue where I am.
We had a list of like a ton of names that were all equally terrible. Probably.
Hot garbage, man.
Who knows? They could have been garbage. They could have been ticket, but it's kind of like we kind of were like, man, once you say a band name like enough times, it just becomes normal. So we were like, really, we're just trying to envision like what would look good on a t-shirt, you know, what would look good on a baseball cap. And then we saw an El Camino, and we kind of that was on the list for like a week, and we just kept coming back to that one. And we had a show coming up, and we were like,
we just need to pick one.
We had a song that we'd written, and we wanted to put it out, but we couldn't think of the name. And we were like, we got the show, we got the song, we gotta roll, we gotta pick a name. And that was the one that we just kept coming back to. Like, out of all the names that we had, this would look best on a t-shirt. So we went with Camino, just Camino, no the band or anything like that, for like maybe a couple months. And we made all of our social media handles at the Band Camino because at Camino was taken by everything, and like our website and stuff. So then after like we played a couple shows, someone came up to us and was like, "Oh, the Band Camino," and we were like,
"That's the ticket.
That's it. That's cool. That's cool." So it just kind of happened naturally, and then we realized that. I mean, we knew this when we chose the band name, but the word Camino means path in Spanish, so it's like we kind of all took the Band Camino. We took the band path like for our lives, so it like kind of like came full circle and was like, "Oh, this makes sense. This is cool."
A lot's been changing lately, and I can't tell if it's me or if it's everybody else. But I'm done wasting my time on the woe is me bullshit that's keeping me from being myself. So look around and tell me what you want me to see. Maybe you're the person that you always wanted to be. Why you wanna be a sad boy? Waste your time looking for something that was right here all along.
You know, if you set the band aside for a second, 2020 was a very creative year, because we had to figure out how to do our own thing and not like, you know, it was very much like a self-reflecting, like, what can I get better at? What can I do more of? And that kind of delved into writing songs with the group, and just, I don't know, overall, I feel like it like activated creativity and sparked it. And so we went down to El Paso, Texas, and recorded a bunch of songs for a record that is most likely coming out this year.
Yeah, we made an album. Is the short answer.
Mm-hmm.
We've been cooking, man. We've been a band since 2015, and so we've put out EPs and singles along the way. But this is like our debut record. So really, this year has been like, it's been weird, but it's been time to really like hunker down and like make an album. So we spent 30 days in the desert, like at a studio called Sonic Ranch. We've just been writing songs, and we're almost done, like mixing the final songs, and like it's set to come out into this year. So it's cool to be classified as rock. I mean, we definitely play guitars, which I think a lot of people play guitars, but we I don't know.
We're playing loud.
Yeah, we have like riffy songs. Like we have like a lot of like kind of nostalgic stuff that nods at guitar legends of the past. Like Daphne Blue is like a nod at like Def Leppard and like growing up listening to that kind of stuff. And guitar solos, like not a lot of records right now have guitar solos. And we just track everything live. Like we want it to sound live. It's in a world right now where you can make a full track in your bedroom on your laptop. There's definitely something to be said for us. Is like actually going to a studio and recording all the guitars live and recording the drums live and like making it an old school way, but still trying to make it sound modern. And so I think that's definitely, I think, probably the main reason that we're put in that rock category. Because
I feel like it's pretty important to myself anyway, and I'm sure the guys would agree, but being the rock band in a pop world that, you know, a lot of people live in feels like
that's the heart of rock and roll.
Yeah,
honestly.
it like feels
Not
like
being
you're
not
going
afraid.
against the grain, and
Yeah.
it kind of brings that
Exactly.
energy, you know. So it's cool. I love it.
Oh, it's really
awesome.
fun, and it
Yeah.
translates. Like Jeff was saying, it translates live. That's that's what we've always kind of hung our hat on. Is we feel really comfortable that all of it's going to work live because we went in there and
We
tracked
played it ourselves.
We played it.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's really good.
yeah, and we started playing live before we ever had music out. We've always just built. The music has always been live minded, and prioritize the live show over anything else.
I don't have a clue where I am. I lost my keys, now all I got left is 10 missed calls and one last cigarette. All my friends, they hate me.
It was me and our producer Jordan Schmidt and another collaborator that we work with all the time named Jeff Warburton. And it was actually like a reschedule to write. They were initially writing with somebody else, and they got canceled on, so they just called me and was like, do you want to come in? Like, we're just gonna write a whatever. It was just kind of like a whatever kind of day. And so we go in and we write it, and we don't even know if it's any good, and like we're all just in a kind of a weird headspace about it. And I personally was like, I don't even know if this is a record song, like whatever. We're about to go choose. These are the more important songs are going to be here. So anyway, we end up going and sitting down and playing and picking songs, and we played that song, and the guys all really liked it and could hear it live, and it kind of speaks to what we were just talking about. Like,
Yeah, no, from my perspective, so like you said, we had a Dropbox of like 40 songs that we were picking before we went to El Paso. So we're going to pick, you know, a select number that we're going to go down and work on in the studio. So I had never heard One Last Cigarette when we sat down for that meeting. It's because Spencer had written it like 2 days before.
Yeah.
So we're going through all these demos, and I have my list in my head of like, oh, these are the songs that are making the record. And Spencer's like, oh, by the way, I wrote this song like 2 days ago, and just plays this demo. And I'm like freaking out. So I'm like, dude, wait, where did this come from? Like, I haven't heard this. This has to be on the record. This is sick. And he was like, oh, you guys like it? Cool. Like,
It was very nonchalant. He just threw it out.
It was like, it was like out of nowhere. So it was like the last addition to the record, like the last thing that got written before we went to the studio.
I'm a classic procrastinator, so this actually speaks to my nature really well.
It's at the Band Camino on everything. So it's Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Facebook, if you're into that.
We got a website.
We got a website.
Bandcamino.com, if you're into that.
We're the Band Camino.
And you've just been buzzed.